There's no smell that I haven't smelled.
Today, Tim, our operations manager, is jumping behind the wheel of one of our mini trucks to take on a full organics run. We'll explore what happens to our green waste, see the mini truck in action, and hear from Tim about how he got into the game and keeps Bin Boy's operations running smoothly. It's all about hard work, smart thinking, and what it really takes to keep our city green. In Australia, most homes now have a green lid bin for organics, things like food scraps and garden waste, items that used to end up in landfill. When these materials break down in landfill, they release methane, a powerful greenhouse gas. But when we collect them separately, they can be turned into compost and soil conditioners used on farms, parks, and gardens. So what actually goes in your green bin? Fruit, vegetable and food scraps, garden waste such as grass, leaves, weeds, sticks and flowers, coffee grounds and loose leaf tea, used paper towel, newspaper and napkins and tissues. These break down safely during the composting process and are accepted in many councils' green waste programs. Once collected, the material is taken to a processing facility. There, it's shredded, mixed and aerated to help it decompose naturally, producing rich compost that feeds new life back into the soil. So when you see that green lid, that's not just rubbish. That's the start of a cycle that keeps our city greener. Tim's been around waste work since he was a kid, but it wasn't something he just fell into. He chose it because he was good at it.
I've been in the industry for nearly 15 years now. As a 12-year-old, going out with my old man on school holidays, on the sidearm, doing council bins, just going out with him, watching him work. Always been interested.
Over the years, that skill turned into a career he could be proud of. It's not the kind of job most people dream about, but for Tim, it's the satisfaction of doing something well that keeps him coming back.
I love being good at things, and I'm good at my job, so it's one of those things of like, you know, everyone has a dream of what you want to be in life, but if you can just fall in love with what you're good at, you're gonna live a much more fulfilling life. I feel like that's where the love comes into it. Obviously, you know, getting up in the middle of the night to empty bins all day it's not anyone's dream job, or any normal person's dream job.
Behind every clean street is hours of planning. Tim's experience behind the wheel means that Bin Boy's operations actually make sense. The kind of understanding you only get from years out on the road.
Yeah, the operation side of it, setting all the runs out, planning everything. There's a lot of time and effort that goes into that. It's hard to explain to someone that hasn't driven a truck and done the jobs how things should be done out on the road. Been driving for years. I've worked, you know, all different sides, done council stuff, commercial stuff. So it was sort of a natural fit for me to move into an operations role.
When he organises the runs, it's not just about efficiency, it's also about people. He knows who prefers which routes, who likes to work solo, and who thrives on busier jobs.
The people that are here have found themselves here, getting up in the middle of the night to empty bins all day. So you try to make it as achievable as possible. Certain guys like doing certain things. You know, some guys don't like doing the city and stuff. Some guys like to do the runs where they've got a runner and they've got someone to talk to all day. Some guys like to work on their own. You got to work in with people's strengths.
That understanding comes from doing it himself and from being part of a team that values experience as much as effort.
Matt, who's started the business from scratch, anything that he's asking anyone to do, he's done himself, and he's been there and he's done it. You can go to him with anything and he understands. It's refreshing working for someone like that. And someone that's actually interested in growing the business and moving forward.
Wet food waste makes some of these bins pretty heavy, and as the organics business is still building at Bin Boy, it's up to the mini truck to handle it.
Yeah, the organics bins can get a lot heavier than the normal waste ones because it's all wet waste, food waste that decomposes, gets all stuck in the bins. That's why you'll notice them to try to loosen up the bottom.
Built for tight spaces and low access areas, it might look small, but it can still move some decent weight.
Right now, the truck gross would probably be maybe 5.5 tonne, maybe. 6.2 is max. So there's probably about 900 kilos on the truck. Definitely driving this mini truck, people treat you like a car. They'll cut you off. They won't just zero awareness. Yeah, because this one's so small, it's deceiving, but it's still, you know, we're over 5 tonne. And it's only got the small wheels on it. The brakes, they're not like the big truck brakes. You try to leave gaps and in traffic, cars will constantly fill the gaps.
And after hours on the road, even the smallest truck needs a refuel. Luckily, this one fits where most don't.
Can I get a soy flat white? And can I also get a medium long black? Thank you.
Have a nice day.
You too.
You might notice some plastic-looking bags in the hopper, but don't worry, they're not regular plastic. These are special, council-approved compostable liners made to break down safely with food scraps.
with food, you know, growing your own food. I've always been interested in like how to do things yourself. I had a veggie patch and I'll, you know, compost my food, and like I've always been like that. But maybe that's because I've been doing this, working in this industry and seeing where it all goes and being like, well, you know, you can reduce landfill quite easily at the base where it's, you know, being created. You don't have to waste so much stuff.
From green bins to veggie patches, it's all connected. The work might start early and smell a bit rough, but in the end, it's about keeping the cycle turning. Because every little bin, every small truck plays a big part in making the city cleaner and greener.